Welcome, Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi. To my right, the Swami, George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger, Albert Campman. Guys in the spotlight, playoffs all over the place, championship games coming up. Let's go to high school football playoffs. Leading rushing, Ben Lane of Freeport rushed for 171 yards and 4 touchdowns. Ryan Palmieri every week from Pine Ridge, 150 yards. D'Italian Buford of Beaver Falls, 106. Maddox Ellen of Slip Rock High School, 77 yards on 15 carries. Passing, Jalen Brickner of Beaver Falls, 129. And let's go to the playoffs, District 7, 6A. It'll be in semifinals, North Allegheny 7, Canon-Mac nothing. Central Catholic 28, Mount Lebanon 7. So in the championship game, it'll be North Allegheny 10-1 versus Central Catholic 7-4. That will be at Norwin High School on Saturday, 6 p.m. Bundle up. Central Catholic on a roll, guys. They were 2-3 at one
Every
point.
year.
Now they're 7-4.
Yeah. Well, you could almost written this one down. There's only
Yeah.
5 teams to start with.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you guys said, you made a good point. Why wasn't Seneca Valley included in the playoffs?
No reason. No.
Yeah. Hey, in 5A semifinals, Pine Richland 23, Woodland Hills 12, Upper St. Clair's 17, Bethel Park 7. So the championship will be Pine Richland 9-3 versus Upper St. Clair 10-2. That'll be Saturday noon at Norwin. Pine Richland has won 8 in a row. How do you guys see this one? I don't
Pine
know that
Richland.
much about Upper St. Clair.
Pine Richland. Upper St. Clair is really good, but they're not as good as Pine Richland.
Stop that running attack.
Right.
Yeah.
Palmieri that was the best move any coach made all year.
Yeah, going to that.
Said, we got to change it. We got to get the ball in this kid's hands.
4A semifinals, Aliquippa 10-0, 41-7 win over Montour versus McKeesport 11-1. McKeesport 41-21 over Armstrong. And then Central Valley 10-1 versus Thomas Jefferson 8-3. Central Valley 36-7 over Laurel Highlands. And TJ 21-6 over Latrobe. Coach Bill Cherpak's 300th career win.
Those are 4 really good teams.
Very good
Oh,
games.
yeah, that's the place to be in that. If you want to see good football games, McKeesport almost beat Aliquippa last year, and McKeesport will show up again. And then Thomas Jefferson, with their reputation, Central Valley back-to-back state champions.
Yeah, that's as good a 4 teams as you can have.
Absolutely. They could play with anyone, any
think,
level.
I would think so.
And a District 8-10 regional championship up in our sister station, Meadville 40, University Prep 12. Running backs, Brady Walker for 203 yards rushing for Meadville, and Kalen Simmons rushed for 199 for Meadville. I think Meadville's only lost, one game this year? 11-1, 12-1?
Yeah, you see who they're looking at in the whip.
The problem with Meadville is
They don't play nothing tough
they don't
teams.
know. They never throw the ball. They don't throw the ball one time a game.
Yeah, two
So
guys
you-
rush
you
400
get-
yards.
You get away with that all year until you play.
Quips, corridor.
And
You're
they
going
put 8
to
in the
try to
box.
run the ball against Al Club
They put
every
8 in
play.
the box.
They're going to say, "Wait a minute, Coach, throw the ball." So they don't do it during the year. I never understand that, Eddie.
No,
you know,
not only that.
They're wing tee all the way.
When they break
and
the
I don't
huddle,
mind that. But if you're
Right.
winning the game 27-0,
Yeah.
say this possession, we're
Hard
gonna
to
throw
come back.
We're going to throw the ball 10 times. We have to work on a passing game. They never throw the ball.
We had them one day, Al. They had a timeout left on a dead ball clock. They had 4 plays to the end zone. They burnt the timeout and ran the ball.
That's what I'm saying. They can't do that. They can't throw the ball.
Plus, when they break the huddle against Equip, they look. Where did those 320-pound defensive tackles
Yeah.
come
We don't have
from?
them in Oil City.
Hey, and 3A semis, Freeport 10-1 will take on Bell Vernon 8-2. That will be at Gateway. Freeport 42-6 over West Mifflin. Bell Vernon 55-7 over East Allegheny. Avonworth in the other game 10-1. They take on Shadyside Academy 7-4. Avonworth pounded Beaver 28-7. This is a big upset. Shadyside Academy stunned Elizabeth Forward 31-17.
Bell Vernon's the team out of that 4. I really believe that.
Hey,
that's what I see.
let's
happening.
not forget, Avonworth conked the Grovers opening week.
Yeah.
Grove City's playing for the district title this
Yep,
week.
we're going to mention that. In 2A semifinals, Beaver Falls 9-1 versus Stowe Rocks 9-2. Beaver Falls 52-0 over Ligonier Valley. In this category, 2A were some of the biggest blowouts. There were 52-0, 47-0.
Yeah, they won it in the whip, you know.
I
Ligonier
have to believe when the Ligonier Valley ran on the
shock.
field, when they ran on the field and Beaver Falls ran on the field,
Yeah, they
somebody in the stand says,
no, they shouldn't.
was waving a white flag.
Should have stayed in District 6.
Yeah.
Definitely.
In the other game, Still Valley 10-0 will take on Neshannock, 11-1. And in 2A,
Still Valley's always been the best team all year. there.
very good.
They've been the best
Very
team.
Remember
all
the
year.
one year they were loaded there, and they just went and took names down at Hershey.
Hey, you talk about chalk in 2A PIAA playoff game. Westinghouse 59, Berlin Brothers 7. About when they
That's
saw
good.
that speed from Westinghouse, they haven't seen anything like that all
And
year.
Southern Columbia has to beat Mount Carmel, who beat them by 2 tutties earlier.
Right.
So you're not going to see Southern
Might
Columbia.
not be there. If you do see them, let's say, look out, that means they're good again.
Well, yeah.
If they beat Mount Carmel, yes.
Have to lose them by 2
Right,
touchdowns.
right.
And 1A semis, Bishop Canevin 11-1 will take on Southside Beaver 11-1. Bishop Canevin beat Clareton 29-6. Union 9-3 goes against Rochester 7-4. Rochester 30-14 over Fort Cherry, and Union in a great game got by Laurel 30-28.
I watched that one. I follow Union because my good friend coach.
Good game.
Yeah. You know how it's interesting how things fall. The two best teams are playing each other in the other game. You know,
Big.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
You know, so it happens. Like the
matters.
seeds somehow
Yes.
it works out.
Yeah.
And so one of these teams, Union or Rochester, is going to get to the finals, even though going in they were not one of the
Because
two
it
best
works
teams.
out 4-1-2-3.
Yeah, it
if
did.
it plays to form, and because of that, 2 and 3 are probably
Depends how the
exactly,
seeding goes.
Absolutely.
Hey, District 10 3A semifinal, Slippery Rock High School 28, Hickory nothing. The Slippery Rock defense held Hickory to 149 total yards. And so now the championship game, Slippery Rock High School 8-4 takes on Grove City. They lost to Grove City in last year's championship game. Lost to them this year by what, 1 point or 2 points in a very close
Drove
game.
the field under a minute. The Rock had gone ahead with a little bit of time. A big personal foul gave them 15.
You're
more.
close to that situation, George. Does Slippery Rock believe they can beat Grove City?
I
I
think
would,
they only lost 22-21.
But I'm saying Grove City
yeah,
wins all the time. I'm
they-
saying.
yeah.
It seems like this is going to sound strange. In the girls' ball, the girls can't beat the Slippery Rock girls, but in the boys, especially in basketball, I don't think they can beat them. This, I'm not sure. I'm
Football
not close
could
to-
be. They
Yeah,
could.
we've had the
Okay.
coach on a couple times.
Yeah, yeah.
and he's-
I'm looking
he
for a
seems
little bit of
confident.
edge for Slippery Rock because they've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
They lost a couple close, tough games to Grove City.
Yeah,
They're
but
playing
you see how
great
Grove City
football
won,
right
yeah.
now.
They were down 2 touchdowns with
No,
8
I didn't
minutes.
see. We
They
get
were
no
down
coverage
2
of it.
tutties with 8 minutes. They beat Sharon. They beat Sharon by a point. They were down. You know, you don't see that in high school because they can't go to the field in 2 minutes, but they did.
And if you want to see, this game will be played at Slippery Rock University.
Yeah, absolutely.
My little wind up there.
Yeah.
A little wind up
A
at
little
Slippery Rock.
bit.
And by the way, people always ask, why not Farrell? Why not this place or that place? They like Slippery Rock and Edinburgh because they have snow removal equipment.
Let's go to soccer, boys soccer. Seneca Valley 3, Springford nothing. Will Bruno with 2 goals in the first round game. Seneca Valley 7, State College 3. Gavin Loya with 4 goals. So Seneca Valley 21-1 headed into this semifinal game.
When you bring that up, I remember an old story. Somebody asked me, "Why isn't Seneca Valley any good?" And I said, "Wait a minute.
Yep.
You're talking football and basketball.
Right.
Exactly
Let's
right.
go down to the other 8 sports."
Yeah, wrestling.
Yeah, they're
soccer,
yes.
girls volleyball. Absolutely.
They take on Conestoga in the semifinal.
Absolutely.
And in girls soccer, WPL 4A championship, North Allegheny 2, Peters Township 1 on Riley Circus goal. It's the 3rd title in the last 4 years for the Tigers, but then in the PIAA quarterfinals, they lost to Central Dauphin 2-1. They finished the season 21-2. And 3A PIAA quarterfinals, Mars 2, Lower Dauphin nothing. In the first round, Mars 5, Bradford nothing. 2 goals by Jenna Carangola. Next up for Mars 19-1, a rematch with WPL champ Moon, who knocked them off, snapped their 80-game win streak, beat them 1-0 in the WPL championship game. This ought to be a great rematch.
This one could go on for 5 hours. Now, I don't know if they have penalty kicks. I'm not sure if they decide by penalty kicks or time. But if it's not penalty kicks, this one's going to go forever. It's going to be 0-0 or 1-1 forever.
2 or 3 overtime
Yes.
games.
It'd be like one of my nil-nil bets in World Cup. I've been known to try the nil-nil routine because if that one team gets a goal, you know they're going to pull it back.
And then 1A PIAA quarterfinals, Freedom 4, Carn City 3, Freedom WPL champs. Goals by McKenna Martin and Emma Daly. gave the Gremlins a 2-1 lead, and then Freedom Shea Bailey, she took over. She had 3 goals in the game, and in her last 2 games, she's had 10 goals in her last 2 games. Carn City finishes 18-5.
You just notice me shake my head. I was thinking, how can you give up the lead? Usually in soccer, you
Yeah,
get the lead,
2-1
and then you
looks
play.
pretty good, yeah.
Well, that's because that girl's so good.
That girl's so
that's,
good.
That's
Yeah,
the
10
answer.
goals.
She went through everybody. That's
School
what happened.
record before
Yeah.
she had 7 goals in the previous
Yeah, that's what
first-round
happened.
game.
Yes.
And in girls volleyball, PIAA quarterfinals, 2A, Freeport 3, Quaker Valley nothing. Josie Russo with 10 kills, Sydney Selker with 8 kills. Next up, the semis versus Phillipsburg Osceola at Punxsutawney.
Hey, let me say,
They're
just
always good, by the way.
Let me say, when we were at North Catholic, you probably were so busy getting set up. I'm reading all their stuff because it's senior night. Every one of those North Catholic girls alluded to beating Phillipsburg,
That's how good they
which
are.
tells me how good Phillipsburg
Yes,
must be.
it's-
My
will be
brother
good.
told me how good they were.
Okay.
Yeah, that team's really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a 4th trip to the semis in the last 5 years for
They're-
Freeport.
Okay, there you go.
North Catholic in 3A3, Hollidaysburg 1. Next up, semis versus Thomas Jefferson. It's the 4th straight trip to the semis for North Catholic. And in 4A, North Allegheny 3, Landisville Hempfield 1. The 6th straight semis for North Allegheny, looking for their 6th straight state title. You look, these last 6 years, they won 4 WPIL, lost 2 of them, but still went on to win state championships.
That could happen to Morris very easily.
Yeah, very much so.
My cash would be in NA, I'll tell you that. If I had some cash in my wallet.
Yeah.
Well,
Jeez.
and who are they going against? Well, Pine Ridge in 3, Unionville 2. Kaylee Doctor had 27 kills, which she's had like 50-some kills in the last 2 volleyball matches. And Katie Yanni, she had 16 kills. So semifinal, it'll be NA versus Pine Richland. Pine Richland beat NA 3-2 in the WPL championship game. That will be at Fox Chapel. Of all the games, football, everything going on, volleyball, this is the one I think I would like to see.
It'll be tough.
Yeah, as I said, it's put my cash on them. After hearing the description, I pulled my cash back in my wallet because Pine Ridge can get them. So
Yeah,
I put my wallet. I put my cash back in there.
This Kaylee Doctor
Yes.
is a force to reckon with.
Hey, I watched one
She's
the other
really
night,
good.
Penn State and Purdue women.
Yeah.
My goodness.
In other words, you have to be pretty good to play there.
No, you better be 6'5".
Yeah,
also.
yeah, exactly.
Gee.
Now this is new for Pine Ridge, and they haven't been to a semifinal since 2011. So this is new.
But they already
for them.
beat them, so that
They already beat
that
them.
is
There's
a
that confidence
great,
there.
yeah, feeling to hey,
Yeah.
play our best. We already beat them once. Yes.
Let's go to our stories of the week. The NFL. Everything's okay now in Pittsburgh. The Steelers 20, the Saints 10. Yeah, the return of T.J. Watt, but ironically, no sacks for the Steelers
I
in the
need
game.
him. I'm
Yeah.
convinced. You don't have to say a word to me
Yeah.
about him. That
Well,
guy
the reason-
changes everything.
Changes
Now
everything.
56 is running wild all
Yeah,
over
That's the
your
point I was going to
Yeah.
make. The point I was
Yeah.
going to make that George just said.
Right.
Every other player now is free to do what they want to do because they're not getting double teamed.
Right.
He draws 3.
Well, and
Think about it. He
it's
draws
it's
3.
relief for Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
all
absolutely,
all these
absolutely. No, you
players.
guys are dead on.
Yeah, no
Hey,
question.
Steelers 217 yards rushing. That was good to see. Harris 99 on 20 carries. The Steelers improved to 3-6. The Saints only had 29 yards rushing. No running game at all.
Awful.
Pickup was 18 of 30, no TDs, but no interceptions for 199 yards, 79 quarterback rating. Next up, Cincy Sunday. It was scheduled for
Night
Sunday
time.
night,
Now it's
8:20.
4:30.
Now it's 4:25.
Flexed out
game.
it was. Instead of flexed in,
Yeah.
it was flexed out. Hey, let me say one thing about there has to be a better quarterback than Andy Dalton at 40 years old. I mean, I know somewhere in the USFL, somewhere there's a better What are they doing?
They can't find quarterbacks.
What's wrong? Is Winston still hurt?
Yeah, some kind of
They
back
can't
injury.
find quarterbacks. That's the hardest position to find, and
Yes.
they can't find.
They gave that Taysom Hill a pile of money.
They can't throw. So
No.
Hey, you look at the rest of the Steelers' schedule. They have Cincy coming up. Beat them in the opening game. Then Cleveland. Cleveland's on the downward spiral. And then 2 games with Baltimore. But the rest of the schedule is Carolina, Atlanta, Indy, and Vegas. None of them with a winning record.
Pittsburgh's winning record. That's why I said. You understand? All those
They're
teams,
looking at
all
that
those
game.
teams are saying, "Hey, we got Pittsburgh. We can beat them. That's the way they're
Hey,
thinking.
they might beat Baltimore, but lose to Carolina.
And NFL happens every week.
No,
Yeah,
you're,
every week.
Ed, you're right on.
Yeah, you said something about Pickett. See, Pickett did not have in that game. He threw the ball away probably 11 times. I mean, just because remember, it's 2010 score. There's going to be a game where he's going to have to score points
He has to
himself.
score.
Like this might be the
Absolutely.
week.
Yeah.
Like Cincinnati's going to have 28. He can't be throwing the ball away.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's nice to have no interceptions. I want somebody that puts
Try
points
to
on the
throw
board.
one in there.
Yeah.
Hey, shock and all, Minnesota 33, Buffalo 30. In all the years I've watched football, I've never seen a game end like this one. Dalvin Cook was tremendous, 119 yards rushing for Minnesota. Cousins, 357 yards. He did throw 2 picks, but he threw a touchdown pass. And Josh Allen was terrific, 330 yards passing, 84 rushing. The team had 175. He had 84. The next was Singletary with 47, but he throws 2 key interceptions. The last one killed him. But the play, when you thought this one was over, when he had the goal line stand, I don't know what he was trying to do. All he should have done was try to secure the ball and just move. Hey, I think he tried to make something more.
He was worried about getting tackled in the end zone. So
and he fumbles the ball.
Hey, let me say this. They had 12 in the field for the stop.
Buffalo, Nathan Fisher's missed it.
No.
That happened. So it goes.
They got to get in trouble for that, though, right?
They will.
I mean, those officials, Jeannie, they have to get their hands slapped.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you think?
That happened one time in the college game, Notre Dame and Pitt. When Notre Dame was undefeated and had 12 on the field and stopped Pitt, they never caught it. Here's the thing: it goes into overtime, and Minnesota gets the field goal to go ahead 33-30, and then I thought maybe Buffalo's going to score, and he threw the pick in the end zone.
Coach is the Cowboy.
To Patrick Peterson.
Turned down a field goal up 4. This guy, first of all, they've had the best team for 2 years, and all I'm saying is, okay, win one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Minnesota 8-1, Buffalo's second straight loss. They are 6-3, and
I was hoping that the odds changed. I went to the odds yesterday because I was going to take Buffalo.
Yeah,
They're still the favorite to win it all.
They know.
Yeah.
How about that?
Vegas.
I'm not so high on him anymore.
I'm super high on him.
Here's why. I love Josh Allen, Albert. I think he's terrific, but he can't keep running. He tried to run over a linebacker.
I don't like that either.
I don't like that either. Where Lamar Jackson's smart enough, he'll get out of bounds or slide. He tries not to take
Russell
a direct
Wilson
hit.
all those years went down.
Yes.
I watched this guy. He takes them on purpose.
Yeah.
And he's bigger than them, though.
Hey, these guys aren't going gently into the night. Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, 31-28 overtime win against Dallas, down 28-14 in the fourth quarter. The Pack had 207 yards rushing. Just changed the game for them, being able to run the ball. And you're right, passing up field goals. It just makes you wonder. I don't want to.
Eddie, we could. I said, George, we're going to talk about. I said this to George. We're going to be talking about this for the next 10 years if we're living. There's not one. 32 teams, all go for it on fourth down now. The game has changed.
Carroll down 12, went for 2.
Yeah.
Just
I'm talking about guys like Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick.
He's 70 years
who
old.
always were old-fashioned.
Yeah.
They got the analytics have convinced those two even. All right.
I don't see it as much with those two. I don't see it as much with Belichick. Andy Reid a little bit.
He goes for fourth down a lot,
Yeah. Oh, no. All of them.
Yeah.
Hey, Tampa Bay 21, Seattle 16. That was in Munich, Germany. The second straight win for Tampa Bay. They're 5-5 now. Brady 258 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the game before that against the Rams, he threw that bullet into the end zone to win the game with 9 seconds left. So I don't know. He still seems to have the zip on the ball. They look better. And happy Saturday on Sunday for Indy, 25, Vegas 20. Jeff Saturday puts Matt Ryan back into quarterback, 21-28, 222 yards, a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, they got back to running the ball, 147 yards. So Indy now 4-5-1. Say what you want about Saturday. That team looked totally different to me, unrecognizable as they were before.
Well, there's one reason for that, Eddie. You said it. All year, end of the year, they said Indianapolis had the best offensive line. They've been lousy all year.
Yeah.
Finally, when you see Indianapolis with Taylor with 150 yards rushing, now Matt Ryan looks okay.
They got a couple all-pro
They couldn't run the ball all year. If they run the ball good, they could run the table. If they don't run the ball, they're going to lose.
They didn't run the ball
Sweet
before
already.
because they didn't make a commitment.
And you
to
know
it.
what made the biggest play of the game was? I watched it. 36-yard escape for Ryan.
I know he did.
Yeah.
I mean, what did he never
They had
ran
nobody
36
around,
yards
yeah.
in a season?
Hey, in Casey's 27-17 win over Jacksonville, Juju Smith-Schuster, I hope
Oh,
he's okay.
he can't be.
He took a brutal hit and a vicious hit. That player should be thrown out of the game, fined. He shouldn't be allowed to play the following week. That was a brutal, vicious
Try to
hit.
hurt him. Try to hurt him.
Yeah, and
Sure
then
looked that way.
no more for Philly. The Washington Commas beat them 32-21. Philly now 8-1, and the NFL is a mirage league. What you see isn't what it
Every week.
appears to
Every
be.
week.
And the second half of the NFL season is like one of your favorite, a Jerry Lee Lewis
Yep.
song. There's a whole lot of shaking
It's
going
going
on.
to change. It's going to change.
It's going to change
Every week it changes.
You know, it's like who would bet right now that Buffalo's not in first place? Like if the playoffs start tomorrow, they're a wild card.
How about that?
I still have Philly. They're at the top. That's going to change. They're at Indy. I look for Indy to beat them. To tell you the truth,
They
the way
can.
Indy's KC in there at number 2, Minnesota, and the big team on the rise is Miami, Giants, Baltimore, Buffalo, Cincy, Dallas, and the 49ers. And 49ers looking good. You know, guys, Garoppolo's not great, but he's doing enough things. He's not making the crucial mistakes to kill them.
I already said it once before, and I'll say it again. Indianapolis won because they ran the ball. If
Yeah.
San Francisco can run the ball, Garoppolo's fine.
Yeah, he's
if
good.
if you put it all on his shoulders,
Yeah.
boom,
You know,
it's
that's
going
like-
down.
If
the
you
field.
only let him throw 25 passes,
Yeah, he's
a
good
game,
shape.
good.
He's fine,
You
yes.
get him to throw 40, you're
They're
not going
done,
to do
yes.
it.
No, and they can run the ball now with McCaffrey. They can run Debo. They are powerful.
They're talented.
Same with Miami. This Mustard, that guy can go.
And here's the other thing: you don't run the ball in Frisco.
No.
You don't run.
Up front.
Hey, let's go.
They're the most difficult. They're 5-4. You understand?
Yeah, I know.
No, everybody talks about it like they're 9-1.
Yeah.
No.
They're 5-4 with that talent.
And let's get after this Shanahan.
That's what I'm saying.
He's supposed to be this offensive. He couldn't score 4 yards from the 4 the other night.
5-4 that team.
College football: Pitt 37, Virginia 7.
Yeah,
And
deserved.
first 2 picks: MJ Devonshire and Marquise Williams. What guys? 15 seconds went by, and Pitt was up 14
I thought it
to
was
nothing.
it was 12:03 on the clock.
And you thought they were showing it again.
And it was 14-0. I said, they did it again to me. They messed the scoreboard up. There's
Yeah.
no way they can have 2 touchdowns in 3
Yep.
minutes.
2 passes.
Back to back, and they didn't have the ball either time.
Hey, last 2 games, Pitt defense only giving up 16 points. Next up, they take on 7-3 Duke. Dual threat quarterback Riley Leonard. You know, he's good enough to play basketball
Yeah.
at Duke.
Yeah, he can't be too bad.
Duke 24-7 over Virginia Tech. First year coach Mike Alco has changed the culture there. They are very physical. They have a very good run defense. But let me say this: the day after the win, a sad note: 3 Virginia football players shot to death
gosh.
by a former player. And I have a newfound respect for Narduzzi in his press conference. Refused to talk about Pitt's win and focused instead on the tragedy at Virginia and his condolences to Coach Tony Elliott.
What a world we live in.
It's,
What a world we live in. Oh, my.
these 3
They were
kids
back in the garage. What?
Yeah.
We got to fight for him.
And-
Do you
and-
think they were harassing him or anything? Because he did quit the team.
Uh,
Is there any
he-
chance?
No, they're not finding it. He's had other issues
I saw
ahead
that.
of time.
I saw
But
that.
I don't even want to talk about him. Anyone who does it, just a punk. And these 3 players, forget whether they had NFL careers. They were going to graduate from a great institution. You can only imagine what their families
Yeah,
are
that's
going
it.
through.
That's the answer.
I don't know how Virginia Tech plays their Virginia plays their last 2 games. I just don't know. It makes everything about sports
Yeah.
and things we get upset about.
Yeah,
just
nothing.
But it happens.
insignificant.
But it happens too often.
Too
Yeah.
often.
You understand?
Well,
You just
let me
don't
tell
hear
you.
it because it's not a football player. It happens every day in
That's what I'm
Chicago.
saying. It happens too
A
often.
friend of mine from Butler, you know the guy, he's a lawyer. He goes to the Virginia game. He's standing on a corner with his friends, and there's a young girl there, and these kids come by in a car, and they hear pop, 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 and she goes, and he felt something in his neck, and they had those air pistols. They're shooting out of the car. Now, if it hits him in the eye, he loses an eye. He took didn't even cause him to bleed, but he got popped in the neck.
That's their recreation?
She called the police. They were driving around campus shooting at people at random
That's
with
wonderful.
that. Sad. Hey, West Virginia 23, Oklahoma 20. Backup quarterback Garrett Green rushed for 2 TDs, 25-yard field goal by Casey Legg as time expired. West Virginia's first win ever over Oklahoma since joining the Big 12.
I hope that saves Brown's job, because I think he's a good coach.
Did I hear
I do.
something that
They're after him.
he's not coming back?
Yeah, they're after him.
They're after.
No, I
But
hope.
you the rumors they've got, the Stoops going to Nebraska, while at the same time the old Baylor coach is going to. They can't all go to Nebraska.
Right.
Hey, and local Kutztown
What?
23.
No, who wants to go to Nebraska anyway?
Yeah. Kutztown 23, Slippery Rock 21. The Rock starters out for the game. Quarterback Noah Grover, running back Chris Diora, and receiver Kyle Sheets all missed the game. Quarterback Braden Long and a backup threw for 227 yards and a TD. The tight end Max Masajewski had 9 catches for 82 yards, but the Rock could only manage 29 yards rushing. Next up for Slippery Rock 9-2. They head to
Playoffs.
They're at Division II. Assumption. I believe that's Brian Kelly's alma mater. And IUP defeated Shepherd 24-21 for the PSAC championship. They get a bye.
And I didn't know the story until you said it. Were they all injured, or were they just
All
sat out?
injured. All injured.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And knowing they're in the playoffs,
They sat him out.
Smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you just say something about PSAC football. Nick Sirianni from the Eagles head coach. He was the offensive coordinator at IUP in 2006. And then the Los Angeles Chargers coaches, Brandon Staley and Joe Lombardi, come from Mercyhurst.
Yeah,
there you
guys.
go.
No, that you know how good that league is.
Yeah.
The dude for Shepherd got the D2 Heisman last year.
And Longo in North Carolina, who's considered the genius in the country.
Offensive coordinator
He
at
was
Slippery Rock.
So they're all
there you
all
go.
around. PSAC football.
Yeah.
Just go see one game.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all you got to do is go
Hey,
see one game.
and the Pirates trade minor league
Oh,
pitcher
they're good now.
for Tampa Bay first baseman G-Man Choi, who hit 11 homers, 52 RBIs, batted .233. And you guys thought the Pirates weren't trying to
See,
do
I
anything.
was wrong.
Yeah.
My
You
bad.
apologize.
I didn't know they were bringing Troy in.
Troy just had a heart attack.
Yeah, no, he
Somewhere.
has to be.
You didn't tell me what team I'm going to.
Hey, let me mention this.
At least the
HBO,
weather's nice in Pittsburgh.
before we end, HBO documentary on Willie Mays from New York to San Francisco. Baseball as we once knew it and loved it. This is great and one of the greatest players of all time. That's it for us. We run out of time. We'll see you next week.
Your support matters to small businesses now more than ever. November 26th is Small Business Saturday, a day to celebrate small businesses and all they do for our communities. Stop by, visit online, leave a review, or tell a friend about your favorite small business. Shop small on Small Business Saturday, November 26th, proudly backed by Armstrong Business Solutions. For profiles on small businesses in your area, check out Business as Usual on the Armstrong Neighborhood channel or on YouTube.
We're proud to announce that in 2022, Armstrong has been named Cablefax Independent Operator of the Year for the second time. We'd like to thank all of our employees for contributing to our success, and a big thank you to our customers for their continued support.
Armstrong has a long history of fighting food insecurity in our communities through breaking bread. We're excited to announce the results of our 5th annual Avenge Hunger Month. Armstrong raised over 19,000 pounds of food and over $14,000 in donations, along with 96 hours of volunteer service. Avenge Hunger Month proudly benefits over 200 feeding programs throughout our entire service area. Visit armstrongonewire.com/break